Hey, how's it going? John Dorsey here with JohnD.net. In this video, I want to talk about how mindset is everything and everything is mindset. So there's this current crisis going on right now with a virus that's going around the world that's devastating a lot of countries and a lot of communities. And one thing that I've noticed, it's been about a month since it hit the USA. And the one thing that I've noticed is that when people are in a state of fear, panic, and overwhelming anxiety, they're basically frozen and taking actions, frozen and making intelligent decisions, and relying completely 100% on the so-called experts to give them direction. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you're assuming that every time an expert says something is one way or another, that the expert is right. And I tend to live from the philosophy of trust but verify. Sure, listen to what the so-called doctors and experts have to say about any given situation, but verify that what they are saying is not necessarily true, but accurate, or that there's backup data to support their claims. You might be saying, well, where is this coming from? Why would you think that anyone else would be qualified to say, why would you not want to trust an expert in a given subject or area? Well, when it comes to the medical field, how long have you heard the saying of get a second opinion? Anytime you get a diagnosis from a doctor, no matter how specialized this doctor is, it's always a good idea to get a second opinion on the diagnosis or the treatment. So why in this case are people relying on one source for their information, which in this source is giving them basically constant negative news? This source is constantly telling them your life is over, stay in your house, don't go near people, basically isolate yourself, separate yourself from everybody else, because everybody else could potentially be a detriment to you. And everybody takes that and runs with it. Well, most people take that and run with it. And anyone who goes outside of that box, such as myself or hundreds of other people, thousands of other people that I know of, we are the ones that's demonized and ridiculed as in causing or being the source of the problem. Now, being a person who has always been kind of outside of the mainstream, outside of the herd, I'm used to that kind of thing. And when you're seeking and trying to go after basically being an entrepreneur, doing things that, trying to achieve your goals and dreams, you have to be kind of an outside of the box person. You tend to be a person who seeks information, wants to know as much as possible, or seeks out experts that's going to give you the information you need to make an informed decision about what you need to do about your business, your life, your family, or whatever else that may be. Because there's no one supreme, not everyone thinks like you. Not everyone has your goals and dreams, and no one cares about you or your family more than yourself. So don't think that what some expert is telling you, whether that's a business coach or a doctor or scientist, whatever it is, don't think that they don't have an agenda, because most people want to push their agenda, and that agenda most of the time isn't to your benefit. And this could even be your family doctor, but it might not necessarily be their fault, because they are trained in the system of they are trained in the system that keeps them at the least risk possible, to keep them from getting sued. So remember that if they push a drug that turns out to be harmful to you, they don't have any liability because they're protected. So you always want to make sure that you're doing the best thing, you are getting the right information for yourself and your family and for your business. And you might be saying, well, you keep intertwining business and medicine and all these things. Well, these things kind of go hand in hand because your life depends on either one. Your life depends on both. Your life depends on having the right knowledge and information to make informed decisions. I heard I can't remember who he was, but he was the CEO of a big time company, very successful guy. And he said that that entrepreneurs, the idea that entrepreneurs are risk takers is a myth or isn't true. And I don't know. I mean, he's a successful guy, so you think he would know, but there is some risk involved in any decision you make. No matter how much information you have, there's always a risk. So saying that an entrepreneur isn't a risk taker is kind of, I think he's probably looking at it from the wrong angle, because anytime you do something outside of the norm, there's a risk that it might not work. Now, he might be approaching from the perspective of jumping in head first without any information. Yeah, a true successful entrepreneur doesn't do that, but they do take risks. No matter how much information they have, they get as much information as possible. They weigh the risk and say, well, this much I know, this much I don't know, but I can get around people or find out, get information from people who know more about this topic to better be firm, to get more firm in the decision I'm going to make to minimize my risk. So basically, entrepreneurship is really risk management, because it's not risk elimination. So that's it for this video. Like I said, starting off, mindset is everything, and everything is mindset. So how you think, it determines how things are going to be. So it's always important to have a positive mental mindset, to look at things from the right angle, get the right information you need to make an informed decision. And that goes for whether that's your life, business, or your family. So that's it for this video. You got some value out of it. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you again soon.